OnlyFans, and so I joined OnlyFans in 2019 before the pandemic, and it became a big thing. Like I was on there and just kind of started posting photos. I didn't share any nude content at that time. And then yeah, I've been on there for a while now.
So like you were aware of OnlyFans, but not like it was in its infancy stages,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did you have like a preconceived notion of what OnlyFans was? Like, were you like, oh, that's that site? Or like,
Of
what did you think?
course.
Okay. Cause I mean, I didn't know. Cause like back in the day when you first heard of it, you didn't really know what was taking place.
It doesn't have this stigma like it does today where people are like, oh, OnlyFans, oh, you're making that kind of content. It was still known as a platform where like nudes were being sold, but it was very similar to Patreon. I felt like at the time it was kind of like, which platform would you rather post on and enjoy? And so I kind of knew what it was, but obviously like it's blown up into so much more now.
So you post these pictures and they're not nude. So how do you go? Like, did you start taking off with the not nude pictures, or how did you
Yeah.
start to then do the nude pictures? And like when did it all start to kind of take off?
Yeah, the funny thing is I already had the nude photos because I was doing nude photo shoots. My very first ever professional photo shoot, I did nude shoot. And so it wasn't like I was like timid about my expression or my body or anything like that. I had to work through the stigmas around what society has told us, which is like, if your nude photos are found on the internet, like that's the end of your career. Like you got to be careful, right? Like all of these different things that I kind of really bought into that system for a while that I was like, oh, I got to be careful. Like, what if these photos get out? And then I was like, fuck it. Like, I really just want to like share this. Like, I truly believe there's nothing wrong with my body. So if I believe that, why am I buying into this crap? And so I just slowly did more and more at a level that I felt comfortable with, not at like what I thought was going to make me more money or what people wanted, but what I felt good with.
And then, so where does it go from that? Now there's some nude pictures to like, well, I mean, people, and we'll get into your coaching
Yeah,
business later, but like, people are on OnlyFans for years and years and years and don't achieve the level of success that you have. So, like,
sure.
when did you kind of say, wait a second, this could actually be like a business? Like, was there a viral moment or did it just kind of
Yeah.
like, how did it take off?
I think actually the first month. So my whole plan, I was like, it would be so cool if I could make like $500 a month, right? Like I live in LA. I mean, that's like cards, gas, it's like a lot of things. And so I already run like my life coaching business. I was like, it'd be a great little supplement, things I'm already doing, little side money. And the very first month I made like $1,700. And I was like, I didn't even put in like a lot of effort. It was photos I already had. Like, and I was like, well, shit, like, what could it be if I'm like really going all in on this? And so then probably right around the time the pandemic started, people started making a free page. And I was like, well, I want to have a free page and a paid page. And so that's when I created both pages and we're running both of them that I was like, oh, like this is like a full-time thing, like pays all the bills.
Is that like, did you have any reservations like when you were heading in this direction, or was it like, wait a second, 1700 could be a lot more, like no reservation, show me the money?
I have definitely worked through my resistance to it. I grew up very religious, like born again Christian home. And so like I've had to work through my things of like there is shame in my body, there's shame in my expression, like I should feel guilty or that I've sold my soul, things that people tell me all the time now. I did have to work through those and be like, is this okay? What am I doing okay? I have children, what about that? And so I've had to work through all those things. And now that I've worked through all of those different parts, I'm like, show me the money. Like I'm in.
Right, like if people have a problem, you're like, that is just what it is, it's your problem.
That's
Like,
your problem. That's not mine. Like I'm not taking that on as my own. I did it for a time period and I was like, no, that's not mine.
did you sit down, like was this a decision like with your husband, like what was
Yeah.
his thoughts on this? Like, did you have a family meeting and discussion? I imagine your kids, like, they're
Yeah.
young, right? So were they involved? Like, do
Yeah.
they know?
So
And no judgment in any of these questions. It's all
yeah,
just
of
because I
course.
am a non-judgmental person.
Yeah.
I believe people live just fake truths all day, and that's the problem with society. So no judgment here.
Amen. Amen. So I went to my husband and I was like, what do you think about me starting an OnlyFans? He was like, absolutely do it. I don't know what you've been waiting so long for. And my resistance was actually my friends. They love and support me, but I was like, is this too far? I kind of grew up in this like I was too much, which a lot of people experience, right? Like you're too vocal, you're too sassy, you're too whatever. And so there's a part of me that was like, is me doing OnlyFans now too much for people? And he was like, no, people love and support you. They love and support who you really are. And if this is who you really are, they're going to love and support that too. And so I joined and I like told my friends and they're like, what have you been waiting for? We knew you'd be on there. And so everyone was actually really supportive.
How
I'm
did you
blessed because not everyone has had that experience.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't. Like, how did
Yeah.
you know what to do? Like, was it just like audience feedback? Like, okay, this picture
Yeah.
did well, that one didn't. I mean,
Yeah, kind of feedback and what honestly, whatever I was having fun creating, whatever I felt called to, I felt like people were just kind of living in the energy of it, right? Like it could be like not the greatest photo, but if like you're super proud of it, people are like, that's amazing. So I think it was just like whatever I felt good or excited or wanted to share that they kind of enjoyed it too.
and then like how soon was that? You know, like I said, like this is why you have a coaching and teaching business on the side for
Yeah.
OnlyFans, but some people are on there for years and don't even like, was yours like what was the timeline like?
I feel like it's always changing. Like you're always learning and trying new things because what works this month may not work next month. And because like there are obviously there's more people in it, I don't believe it's saturated. I hear that all the time. There's a million businesses that you could be like that's saturated, but people come for you. They come for your uniqueness, and I don't think that that changes no matter how many people are on the platform. But there is different ways to like strategize and like trying different things. So I feel like I'm always trying that and looking at data of like, how did this do? Did people love this? Did they not love it so much? Or taking feedback. But the thing with feedback is you always have to take it with a grain of salt because people always will have feedback no matter what. And so it's like really listening into like, does that feel good and true to me?
Does that happen on OnlyFans where it's like the typical dissatisfied customer? Like, do people complain? Do they say, I want my money back? Like, is there an actual process? Like, I don't even know how
There,
that works.
that yes, that does happen. But here's the thing. So I have had thousands of subscribers. Like I have 55,000 on my free page, a few thousand on my VIP page. And out of thousands of people, and people have come and people have gone. So let's say I've had 70,000 total. I've only had to block a handful of them, between like 5 and 7 total. That's very minimal percentage compared to how many people have been in my community. And so I would actually say it's the opposite of what people would think. People think that they're more critical, right? Because they're paying for something, they're expecting something. And I feel like it's such a loving community of people who are like so respectful. They know how difficult it can be to take off your clothes in front of people. But even if you're not taking off your clothes, like it's a level of vulnerability, right? Like you're showing a different side of you than maybe you would show on Instagram or some kind of other platform. And so